How's it going, everybody? Hopefully you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day. Hopefully the sun is still shining, the moon is still mooning. But if you're watching this, there's probably a very specific reason that you actually clicked on the video. And if I was to take a guess, that's probably because DBD just isn't hitting the same. Deep down, you're probably filled with all these distant memories, whether it be looping a killer for 5 generators or putting a survivor's face where their ass is. But now, when you play the game, it takes 20 minutes to even queue up in a match in the first place, and then when you get into a match, it's probably the same map or killer that you've played on the last 5 games before. And as of the recent Spring Trap update, there's been a lot of quality of life changes, so these kind of issues aren't really as common. But either way, some of these issues still persist. So I thought I'd go ahead and just make a video where we talk about this. I'm not kidding you. DBD Burnout is a real thing. DBD just has a really addictive nature. The game is really good at keeping you extremely stressed and giving you really enjoyable moments at the same time. It's like yin and yang. It just creates like a cycle of playing the game for 15 hours a week and then going without playing it at all. And believe me, I've had those moments. But today I wanted to actually talk about some ways you can kind of avoid this. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it. So the first point that I have is maybe you're just playing too much of one side. Maybe you just play too much killer. Maybe you just play too much survivor. Maybe you don't play any survivor at all. Maybe you don't play any killer at all. And I think this is probably your issue if this is the case. As a killer main myself, I still hop on Survivor once in a while, usually to farm blood points because it takes a little bit longer to get into a game with the queue times as killer. But I'd say about 20 to 30% of the time I'm actually playing Survivor. I don't just play killer. And I think a lot of the reason, and if you're one of those people that are like, oh, I just gotta only play killer so I can get better. Well, in reality, there's things that you won't learn about playing killer unless you play Survivor. And likewise, there's a lot of things that you won't learn about playing Survivor unless you play killer. I'm not even gonna lie, playing killer has made me a lot better at playing survivor. Reason being is because I know where a lot of the good loops are because I have people who take me to them. And I have a lot of people that show me which loops can be abused for like 30 seconds. Like, I think just playing killer has overall increased my game sense for when I play survivor, which just makes the game overall more enjoyable. And also switching back and forth can kind of help prevent you from getting extremely bored of the game. And I get it, you know, sometimes survivor sucks, sometimes killer sucks. Whether it's a bully squad or just a killer with full gen regression, either way, sometimes you're just not gonna have fun. Sometimes you're just gonna get into a game and you're just gonna be like, why the hell am I even playing? And I think that's just the nature of DBD. It's an asymmetrical party game, and I think people tend to forget this. They take the game so seriously. They play it with the full competitive mindset, which is okay. I definitely play killer with the competitive mindset. Like, I go in there, I'm straight up tunneling, I'm camping, I'm doing everything I can to make sure I win. And sometimes when I don't win, I get really frustrated. You can actually check out my last video. I absolutely crashed this shit out. But at the end of the day, you know what I did after? I just queued up for the next game. I got over it. Letting the circumstances in the game get to you is just a really bad habit. I think you just gotta remember that the game is just meant to be played as a party game. It was never designed to be a competitive ranked style game. It was simply made just to party with your friends, which would be my second point. You're taking the game too seriously. Calm down. It's that simple. Like, yeah, I've had a few times where I've punched the shit out of my desk. I've absolutely gotten enraged at the game. Was not having fun whatsoever. But at the end of the day, just take a break. Just take a break. Go play something else. Go play Smash Bros for an hour. Go play something that's a little more less stressful, a little bit more less unfair. I think a lot of people have just lost the plot when it comes to the game. It was never meant to be taken seriously. It was never meant for you to just soak your underwear with ball sweat. It's just not that serious. It's a party game. Don't forget that. I think a lot of people have just really lost the plot of DBD. They think that they just have to go in and win, and if they don't, then they just DC. I can't tell you how many times I've downed a survivor and then they just give up instantly. They just disconnect. And it's just like, why are you even playing the game? Just take a break. If you're gonna just give out on your teammates and just give up and ruin the game for everybody else, just take a break. You probably don't need to be playing the game right now. It's that simple. And if any of you are watching this right now, as of the 25th, pretty sure the Dead by Daylight anniversary event is actually about to start. So you might want to get back on the game. You might want to start grinding. You're gonna be getting hella more blood points than you did before. You know, I can get where the game starts to feel a little bit repetitive. And I think when you start to get to that point, I think it's genuinely just time to go play something else. It's okay to not want to play DBD. And like I said, the game does have an addictive nature to it just because of the amount of vastly different emotions that can be created, whether that be just pure blissful joy or just absolute stressful frustration. I think it's good to understand when you're actually burnt out of the game, so you take a break so you don't burn yourself out even more, so you never touch it again for 5 months. So the biggest takeaway from my second point is I genuinely just think most people have just lost the plot of DBD. It's not meant to be serious. It is an asymmetrical party game. It was never meant to be fair. It was only meant to be fun. And when you play the game and you were just like, oh, this loop is so stupid, man. It's cringe, dude. Enjoy the game. Challenge yourself. Don't lobby dodge that team full of flashlights. Don't lobby dodge that team with 4 TTVs. Just challenge yourself once in a while. Just get into a game that you're not too confident in. And if you lose, you lose. Oh well, it will make you better at the game. And the better you get, the more you're gonna win and the better you're gonna feel. It's really just that simple. And for my third and final point that we have, it's dealing with the toxic nature of the game. Unfortunately, because of the circumstances that DBD is under, the fact that it's a 1v4, you're gonna have a lot of experiences where survivors or a killer is just being absolutely an asshole. Like sometimes they're gonna teabag, sometimes they're gonna point at you, sometimes you're gonna get embarrassed, sometimes you're gonna feel like, oh, I'm sit at the game. That's just natural. I think it's just the spirit of humanity, if I'm being honest with you. It's an unfair game at the end of the day. It was built that way intentionally. And if you ever get to a point where you feel like a bunch of survivors or killers are just being absolutely an asshole to you, don't take it so serious. It's just a game. Don't let it get to your ego. And another side point that I'd like to make is also don't be that toxic player. Just be able to say GG at the end of the game. I can't tell you how many times I've had like survivors already. In like the 3 weeks that I've been posting on YouTube so far, I've already had people come to my channel talking shit. And it's like, I don't really let it get to me because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to enjoy the game. You can talk shit all you want. You can call out my mistakes. I don't care. I like to look back at my own mistakes in a lot of games that I've recorded. I enjoy making mistakes because maybe those mistakes will help me not make them in the future. So even when I lose, I don't be toxic. And when other people are toxic to me, I don't care because in reality, if they beat me, then that just made me better. I'll learn what to watch out for next time. I think the more you play the game, the more you learn about it. It's just got a learning curve that just goes like whoosh. And I think a lot of people realize that and then they just start to step away from the game. I think it's just a whole mountain of learning that's available to people, and when they realize this, they just walk away from the game because they're just like, it's too much for them. And if that's the case, maybe just give up on DBD because it's not a beginner friendly game. When you start playing it, you're not going to understand everything. People are going to be pulling out tricks that you're just not ready for. I've got over 500 hours on the game and I still got people that are just pulling crazy shit out their ass, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. But rarely do I ever get salty. I might get frustrated, I might get angry, I might punch my desk here or there. But at the end of the day, by the end of the game, I've always calmed down enough that I'm not salty. There's been a few times recently that I've been like considering DCing myself just because I was so pissed off. But I would like to say that it just came out of a place of me not wanting to play the game, not out of a place of saltiness. And I think that was a good sign for me that I just needed to take a break. So I just got off the game and went to bed for the night. But my overall point for this video is that if you find yourself in a place where you're not really enjoying the game anymore, maybe just take a break. It's fine to take breaks. Nobody's gonna judge you. Dead by Daylight will be there tomorrow. When you get into the point where you don't want to play it anymore, that's probably because you don't want to play it anymore. Just accept that and move on. And if you can consistently keep that up, maybe you won't actually get entirely bored of the game. I'm at a point now where I really don't get bored of the game no matter how much I play it. Just because I've gotten to a good mental state when I play the game that I understand that if I lose, there's always the next game. Yes, it's unfair. Yes, it's asymmetrical. But that's the joy of DBD. If you think that's a problem, then maybe DBD just isn't the game for you. But that's really all I got to say for this video. Like I said before, this is like my 3rd week at YouTube. So I'm a pretty new content creator. I've been trying to post as consistently as possible every day that I actually can. So if you guys enjoy watching this kind of content, whether it be gameplay, commentary, etc., maybe consider giving me a subscription. It really helps out. I'm on the road to 100 subscribers. So if you want to help me get there, or maybe I already am there by when you're watching this video, either way, I appreciate your subscription. And I try to make sure that I'm delivering entertaining content and that all my content is better than the content that came before it. But that's pretty much all I got to say today. So I want to just thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace and good luck on your next game.